You all right there, Pat?
Mick just showed me the AI generated images of the end of humanity as we know it. And I feel scared. I also feel encouraged to build out my bug out bag system. I don't know what it needs to have in it because knives don't kill computers. So
yeah, you need a small EMP device.
I got a small EMP device for you.
Oh. Double entendre.
Oh man.
Holidays are upon us, Pat.
That is true. It is the holiday season. Outside, it's about to, the weatherman tells us it's about to get cold. So we're making sure that as we leave for our holiday adventures that we make sure we keep our pipes from freezing because it could happen. It's getting negative 11 for like 2 days in a row plus some other stuff. And so I know like if you're like listening from Minnesota, you think that's a joke, but where we're at, we got to make sure that we keep the heat on so we don't burst a pipe.
Yeah. Live through that, dude. Winter of 2021, like out of 2021, like January, I had a pipe burst and I got kicked out of the house I was living in because I was renting it and it was deemed not safe to live in. And they had to do, like, the city was going to shut down the house and say it was not safe for people to live in. So we had to move out.
Really?
So, big bummer, yeah.
Man.
That's one of the things that I just feel like you're not told when you start renting from someone is that like, hey, this is a crummy old house. We're going to kick you out if it, breaks down to the point of like water not working.
Yeah, renting houses can be a blessing and it can also be a drag. Depends on your landlord, man. Depends on how they take care of you and how they take that like job seriously. Most people are just in it for just the money. And I'd say like every landlord is in it for a monetary value, but then some people take like the title seriously to like to upkeep and maintain a place for people to be able to have a home. But some people, it's like they just see it as a rent check.
Yeah. I lived in this house. It was one of the houses where everything was like just fresh coat of paint to cover everything. There's literally a hole in a wall where they had put a paper plate over it and then like just smeared the not stucco but like stucco repair stuff
on the inside.
No, over the plate.
Yeah.
But it was still like enough definition you could tell it was a freaking paper plate underneath it to cover a hole. There's one time in the summer where all these like family members of the woman who owned the house, she was I want to say Filipino, and all these people from the Philippines get like a visa for the summer to come over and work on our house.
Yeah.
Oh, her house is, that she owns.
Did you say Filipino?
Filipino.
It's like sorry. I pictured a small woman, but the bottom half of her is a jalapeno. Filipino. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter how to say it, but that's what I saw when you said that.
But she would just have all these people. I think they're family members from the Philippines, or I don't know. She owns stuff in the Philippines. She's like she's super regal in the Philippines, from what I know. Like she's actually comes from like a very aristocrat family in the Philippines. But anyways, she would bring these people over in the summer to work on the houses. and they'd throw their fresh coat of paint on every summer. And dude, one summer they painted the windows, and the paint dried, and we couldn't open any of the windows. And we had to go around with the screwdriver cracking all the paint so we could open the windows to the freaking house because there was no air conditioning.
Oh, yeah. I mean, lots of landlords, they're not hiring somebody to do work on their house. They're hiring somebody to do work on their investment.
Yeah.
So the work that gets done on your house, they want it done. They want it done cheap. And they want it done so that the people stop complaining who live there.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was a house that had literally fabric insulation for wires. Yeah, it was pretty sketch, and it was clearly like a lot of corners cut and everything, but the rent was cheap as hell, man. Rent was like $500 per person.
Yep, that is. I mean, and also like that's the trade-off, because if you're doing a rental place, people are. Also, sometimes you know what you're getting into, and so it's okay to decide. Listen, I'm going to live in this place that I can afford because that's all I can afford, or because I want to save money, and it's all right if the microwave kind of shocks me every time I push the button.
That's funny you say that, dude. We definitely had someone get shocked once off of a door handle because of a live wire that
from the door handle. Live
wire somehow was in connection with the like the metal piece that the door locks into. Like your door handle bolt slides into when you close the door.
Yeah, and
it must have happened after a wind storm or something, because it wasn't that way before. But then someone went and touched the door handle and they got a zap.
That makes me think of a movie.
What movie?
A Christmas movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When old Joe Pesci slinks his way up a frozen staircase multiple times and puts his hand on what is essentially an electrified door handle. Huh. I don't
remember that one from Home Alone.
In Home Alone, yeah, he little Kevin hangs this little heater. It's like an electrical coil heater on a door handle, and it heats the handle up so that when he finally gets up there to the door, it's a whole long scene of him just trying to get up the stairs that are frozen. And when he finally gets there, he just grabs the door handle and it sears his hand, and then he falls over backwards. And I think it was a great scene in the movie because, one, it was wildly entertaining and hilarious, and he'd just finally gotten up to the door, and so he rushed it and he grabbed the door handle. But the last name of the family's the McAllisters, and they got the M on their door handle, and he burns an M into their house. And if I had to ask the director, and I'd love to, was what were you going for in that scene? And I think he was probably going for Raiders of the Lost Ark, the scene in the bar when the German guy grabs the heated up necklace emblem that has the writing on it. Yeah. Because if you watch those scenes side by side, you have like he grabs it and it sears his hand, and then they both wander off into the snow and stick their hand in it and it sears. And then they both look at their hand and it shows the markings burned into their hands. Oh. So I think he was painting a little. I didn't notice that till this year when I watched that movie. I was like, oh, I think he just put a little Raiders of the Lost Ark into Home Alone.
Smoke break.
Smoke break.
Hey, Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, 0 fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick and Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution.
That's a good one. M for, I honestly, I would assume that the M was for Mick.
Yeah.
The Mick and Pat show. So, welcome all. I'm Mick, sitting here with Pat, and we're just enjoying our little last set before the holiday break. And Pat, there's a couple things I wanted your opinion on. With the holidays and all that. Yeah, and I think the number one thing I want to talk about was, because I feel like some of our listeners can relate, is gifts. And not just gifts, but how you receive gifts.
Gift getting.
Yeah, gift getting and gift giving.
Yeah.
And, I've had this conversation with my wife, so, nothing new under the sun here for us, but I personally just don't give a rat's ass about anything, like getting anything for Halloween. Not Halloween, Freudian stuff. Getting anything for Christmas. I am one of those people who I just feel like I have everything I need. Like when I really think about what I need is, a little bit of an extended weekend to enjoy a little bit more rest, or it'd be nice to have a car payment, I guess, just docked off or something like that, as a gift. But my wife and her family are huge gift givers, like to the point where they get frustrated, like legitimately frustrated, if you can't think of something you want. And I have gone over this with them. And my own family, many times where like I'm very content with the possessions I have, and there's things that I see that I'm like, oh, like I could put use to that, like, and most of those things are, if I'm being honest, guns. Right. I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome, that's a sick ass gun. But I also know, like, there's just no way any of those people who are really gift orientated about, like, they really love giving gifts, none of them are going to buy me a gun.
And because here's like a couple things on that would be like, I feel like all the gifts I want would be way outside of what would be acceptable for someone to drop the money on.
Yes.
Like as I've grown up,
staccato,
it's gone up and up and up, right? Yeah, exactly.
$3,000 handgun.
Yeah, exactly. So you go from like, tricycle, moving on up into later in life where you're like, like if you got me a boat, that would be dope.
I could use a boat,
but like, and what's funny about a boat these days, you'd be like, $30,000 boat. $30,000 boat's kind of trash even now. So like, like if you bought your buddy a boat, that'd be crazy. And so I feel like the monetary value behind gifts, that can be super special if someone can give you like a true gift. Yeah. Like, and meaning one, there's like knowing like what they could sacrifice for you, or like somebody who doesn't make that much money, goes out of their way to really like, bless you with something that's special. Or someone like Papa Moneybags, buys you, a house. It's like, right. Like, good God. Right. So, but
it's too much liability to live up to that gift.
Right. And so I think like I love giving gifts. And I do. I love it.
I hate it. I just don't enjoy
So
buying gifts or getting gifts.
You don't like either of it.
It's not that I don't like it. I just don't care at all.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I enjoy it when I really find something that I really think will be sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the really, truly sentimental gifts that I've come across have almost really no monetary value assigned with them. Like, I'm at Hobby Lobby and I'm like, wow, this, fishing pole that holds 3 different picture frames on it is perfect for my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she could put 3 different photos in there of like her favorite people she's gone fishing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my mom's going to cry when she gets that gift.
Is that your gift this year? Do I need to make sure?
It's one of them to my mother.
So if I post this before,
she's not listening to this yet.
All right. I was just spoil your gift right out.
No.
But I feel like in that, to get away from the monetary value over to the sentimental value, that's where I love giving gifts, and I get wrapped up so much in like the sentimental value of something to give somebody. Like every gift I give somebody, I want that gift to be something that they cherish and love. And if they're not buried with it, that they are like their children fight over it when they die. Yeah. Like, even though it's not worth anything because it was so special to them, a little pocket knife, a little trinket, a little whatever it might be. And so like, I like want to, I put so much pressure sometimes on the gifts that actually that cripples me into like, I just don't get gifts for people.
Oh, really?
Because I'm like, I could buy you this stupid thing from the store for $20. Another little thing, American frivolous, item off of Amazon that I don't even gift wrap. I just get it shipped to you for.
Yeah.
And so, I'll go walk the stores for hours, just like.
Really?
Yeah, I'll just be like, I want to get people something cool. But I'm in these dumb stores and I'm like, there's nothing good in here for people.
Bro, okay. So here's my solution to that.
Yeah.
For myself.
Yeah.
I spend the year going over and, online looking at things that I would not mind taking up space in my home.
Yeah.
My whole method is most of the time people give me things for Christmas that I don't have any care for. And it will just be clutter in my house.
Oh, yeah.
And my house is a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
That's 1,000 square feet. I don't have more room for clutter, right? I already have enough of it. And so what I end up going through is what is something I won't mind looking at, accepting that it's not being used often. Accepting that its use is very limited, very niche. And most of the time it will just be there being looked at.
Yep.
And I have come up with a foolproof list every year that I do.
Nice.
And it is not a list that my in-laws or my own family enjoys. Because see, one time I put on my Christmas list a really nice expensive hat, cowboy hat, Stetson custom made replica hat.
Hell yeah.
It's 400 bones.
Yep.
And I said, if you want to get me something, you guys can all pull in for this.
All right.
I did not get that hat that year.
Oh, damn it.
I'm going to get that hat I'll buy it for myself.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But like, it's one of those things where I was just like, okay, I played ball. I told you all something I'd like, something I'd use very regularly. I mean, it's a dress cowboy hat, right? Like, I'd wear it every Sunday to church. I really would.
Once you have it, you're like, this is my
thing. This is why I wear every week.
Do I do anything with cows? No, but am I going to wear this hat? Hell yeah.
It's known as a businessman Stetson.
Wow.
So it's not even like a cowboy hat. It's like a clean, wear to church, wear to business, wear whenever. You just got to be dressing up for it, right? You got to be.
If you're going to buy a new car and you got to deal with that sleazy guy with the pinky ring,
you put that hat on. That guy's wondering if there's a underneath that hat.
Yeah,
Like,
or a stat. Yeah, I would say you just put the cash in the hat.
oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So when you like take your hat off, you start like throwing bills down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but no one did that. And I was like, all right, y'all. I played ball. To my grandmother's credit, God bless her soul, love her to death. I also put on a poncho, like a nice Argentinian handmade poncho.
Alpacan.
Yeah, it's genuine alpaca. And it has this awesome. You've seen me wear. I was wearing it not too long ago. I feel like to something we did. I think it was a Halloween video. I wore it, and it's like a white and black poncho.
You wore it to your consummation.
What? Consummation?
Yeah, dude.
What are you talking about, dog? I did not wear that during my wedding night.
It seems like there's easy access. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, there is.
Yeah, you can.
There is. It's easy. You just flip it up. But like, actually,
you can stay warm.
Story time. There have been times where like I was wearing that poncho, and I took off my pants and stuff, and just walked out into the living room in that poncho to initiate intimacy. Hey, it's worked 100% of the time.
100% of the time, every time.
Every time.
That's better than Sex Panther.
It is, dude. But no. Anyways, so like I realized, like, all right, gave y'all a chance, so now I'm gonna just go with my trusted good old clutter that I don't mind looking at, and I've created a list of these items.
Did you use a computer AI software to generate these?
No,
Okay.
nothing fancy like that.
You should try that next year and see what it comes up with.
We'll see. But this list is all the same genre category of items. And I gave it to my wife this year, and she looked at me, she's like, "Are you for real?"
Like
I was
decorative towels.
I said, "Honey, if you want to give me a gift, if your mom wants to give me a gift, if your aunt wants to give me a gift, your sister, if my mother wants to give me a gift, my grandmother, all these people who I know are really big gift givers, they can give me one of these because I will use it. And not only when I'm not using it will I enjoy it, but I'll really enjoy it. And I think other people will enjoy it when I use it." And on that list was 7 or 8 different 1/12 scale dinosaur models. Just incredibly highly detailed, artistically hand painted dinosaurs.
That's not going to help with your initiation of intimacy.
I don't need that. I don't need help, dog. But dude, they range from like $50 to like 120.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them come with their own dioramas and bases. One of them is the T-Rex from King Kong, and its base is a bunch of different King Kong skulls and bones. I was like, this thing's badass as hell. And you know what? I'll use it in Dungeons and Dragons maybe once a year.
Mm-hmm.
But for the rest of the year, when it's sitting on a shelf in my office, I'm going to look at it and think, that thing is badass as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't mind that it's taking up space. And essentially, that's what I threw out, dude. I threw that out to everyone, as well as I threw out a couple firearm accessories.
Yeah.
For those who are like not gun shy, literally. And I was like, look, like it's one of these two. I made it very clear. I was like, honey, please make it clear to your family, my family, whoever you send this list out to.
Like, buy me a High Point from a pawn shop.
No, that's trash, dog.
They fire, dude.
Yeah, they also hurt like hell when you throw them at someone's head.
That's what you want.
But like, I was just like, I don't want anything else other than these things on this list. Like, I cannot think of anything else I'd use, because I have everything I need utility wise. I have.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm only thinking about things I don't have a utility for that I don't mind occupying the limited space I have to place things. And she was like, okay, all right, I'll send everyone your dinosaurs. And I'm just like, please do. And so that's my list. And so I'm kind of wanting to know from you, Pat, what is your list of gifts that you would be not like begrudgingly like, shit, I have to find somewhere to put this. Like things that you're like, hey, if I get that, cool. Like, I'm happy I can find somewhere to put that. I'm happy with it, whatever, you know. Like, because let's be real, Pat. No one's buying us a house this year. No one's buying us a truck. Well, you don't need a new truck. You got 3.
Oh, my God.
But, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's most of the stuff you get for Christmas is junk.
Yeah.
That you don't know how you're going to use.
I'll talk about that for a second. I'll tell you this. I love 5-gallon buckets.
You do, I bet.
I own like 40.
Damn, dog. I thought you were going to say 10.
Yeah. And so, my sister, my little sister has started doing this thing for me where she buys me like a 5-gallon bucket every year. And it's like a, whatever, one with a Texas flag or one from Bass Pro with like a seat on it or something, you know? And it's like, it's fun. And so at the end of Christmas, the best part about that 5-gallon bucket is I throw all the gifts, the little gifts in it. And then I go set it in my garage. And I have 2 5-gallon buckets in my garage from the past 2 Christmases with the gifts still in them, just sitting there.
Wow.
So talking about like clutter and stuff, like
no
stuff
kidding.
like you're not going to use.
They're in a pail.
Yeah, my stuff's been in a bucket for years. And so when people ask me what I want, it's hard because like all I want is like another truck so I can have 4 trucks, which is ridiculous. And so when I come up with a Christmas list for people, I've just started saying books. I'm like, probably give me a book you like, because I think those can be valuable. I can put it on my shelf, and even if I don't read it makes me look like I'm smarter when you walk in my room.
Yeah. I don't have any books on my shelves really anymore. I have a couple that not a couple. I have probably like 30 books that I've kept over the years. Every other book's on my phone.
Right.
I have actually asked for that. That was one of the things I was like, if you want to give me a gift, give me 3 Audible credits.
Nice.
I'll put them to use.
Yeah, and I feel like it is hard because now it is like when people are like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, get me gift cards to Scheels.
No kidding. Yeah.
So that I can like buy something that has like a lot of value, or, you know, like start building those up. And gift giving is, I think, an art. And I think Christmas time puts a lot of people under pressure of, I just got to buy everybody I know something and get them something that they, I'd say this. If you're giving gifts, if you give gifts for yourself, that's not the way to be doing it. Like, if you can actually get in a place where you give gifts to people because you think it's for them, that's a good place to be.
I'll tell you, so for my grandfather, his gift this year, I was out in Michigan in September for my wife and I's honeymoon, and stopped by my grandparents, and he has this 1964 Winchester repeater, 3030. And it's like not one that is like old enough that it has a lot of value to it in its original condition. But it has a lot of sentimental value for him and I. He got it from a buddy of his back when he was starting out as like a radio operator for a news station. And it was like the first gun I learned how to shoot on, cowboy repeater. And when I remember learning how to shoot it on the property in Elbert, Colorado that he inherited from his dad. There was like this big old barn that had been like blown crooked from the wind. And now that barn's blown down by the wind, and it's like all just like there's nothing out there anymore. And he's in Michigan. So I was out there and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this gun. I'm just going to make sure it's spick and span. Like I'm going to take it home with me. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to have a gunsmith take a look at it, tighten up anything, replace anything that needs replaced. And we're going to get it good and stuff for another, heyday out at the range. And so I'm really excited about that. Like I think he kind of knows. That's why I took it back.
Right.
I don't think he knows it's coming back to him for Christmas in like tip-top condition.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about that one. I think he'll be really happy. It's like one of the ones I'm not going to wrap, right? Like I'm going to get there on Christmas Day, having flown with it in a rifle case. And I'll be like, Merry Christmas, Pops. You know, here it is, spick and span. Let's take a look at it, you know? But it felt really good because I spent like 3 days cleaning it because it had a little bit of rust speckling on it. It was bluing on the inside of the barrel from some corrosion. And it was definitely just like the stock was a little loose. The fore end was a little loose on it. And so taking it to the gunsmith, you know, tightened everything up and did a quick purview over it and made sure to use the right tools, keep it in pristine condition, and thing looks slick now. Looks like something, you know, you'd see in 310 to Yuma.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So I love it. And I know he's going to love it too.
Yeah. I think that can be one of the best gifts to give somebody in a lot of ways. My dad's first acoustic guitar he bought a couple of years ago, from basically just being super dry in Colorado, it broke. And so I took it from him and I haven't fixed it yet. My plan, I took it a year and a half ago and I was like, oh, like I'm going to go take this to a guitar shop and get it fixed. And I haven't yet. I need to get that freaking done.
It's expensive too.
And so and that's part of it's not a super nice guitar necessarily, but the sentimental value on it, like you were saying, is up there.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, I really want to get this guitar fixed up and give it back to him. And so I'm excited to get that thing worked on and give it to him as a gift. And I think that's like really a great gift idea for a lot of people, you know, take something that, you know, has been special to somebody and get it fixed up and give it back to them. Or, you know, take something that's special to somebody and add on to it. And
yeah. I mean, I have a nice watch collection that is growing, and a lot of those watches are from people who have passed away, and the watches themselves might not be worth more than, you know, $50, $60 a piece on some of them. Some of them are probably worth like $200 to $500, but there's a lot of them where they're like, I know the band's broken on them, and I need to get their band fixed or replaced, or where like it's gotten scuffed on the face and it needs to get brushed and polished, things like that, or batteries replaced.
Oh yeah.
I have a really nice custom made watch from Iceland that I got on my honeymoon that the battery died on, and it's a very intricately handmade watch. Essentially all of those are in this watch box, and if, you know, someone want to give me a good gift and just take those to the watchsmith and get them in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
Like it'd be expensive because, you know, it's a professional, you know, someone whose whole life is fixing watches would have to fix these, you know, $60 watches, right?
Right.
The repair costs would probably be worth
more
than the watch itself. But that, like, the sentimental value of that, like I have a watch from my uncle in there that my uncle wore all the time before he passed away, and it's still got like paint marks on it from when he was wearing it while flipping houses and stuff. And the clasp on the watch is broken, and I know, like, I keep putting off getting that watch fixed, but if that watch got fixed for Christmas, like, I'd love it. I'd be stoked about it.
Like if let's say someone couldn't afford to fix all those, but they could make you or get you a case or a box to like display them in or like have them in. Yeah. That'd be awesome too. Yeah. You know, like thing to like set those things up. And so, yeah, I think that thoughtfulness behind gifts is the number one. And as easy as Amazon makes it these days to, you know, shoot somebody something, taking a little bit of time, a little bit of thought to get somebody something that if you know them and you know it's important to them, get something around what's important to them, and they can they'll love that thing forever. And I've got things that are worth no monetary value that I value way over things that it cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like thought it was so silly to have that kind of value on things until I got married. And I realized there are, in all honesty, if like my apartment was burning down, we're on the 3rd floor. If it was burning down and I like woke up in the middle of the night to smell smoke,
You could only get something.
number one thing I'm grabbing is my wife and I's wedding album. Because of the memories from that, not only with her and I, but just like all the people we love being there and like the photos we have of it. Even though those photos are all still available online,
Yeah.
like, and we have access to them and we could just get another wedding album, that'd be the first thing I grab. Second thing, the blankets that my grandmother sewed for me before I was born. And they have like this silk lining and these super faint, almost impossible to see teddy bears holding balloons. I would grab those. And I think the third thing would probably be like grabbing an assortment of like framed pictures from like pictures of me and my mom and my grandmother and my grandfather and I and family like that, and like tossing them all in and just trying to run out in a bag with them. Everything else, I've just accepted. I'm like, everything else is replaceable. I'm gonna replace it. I got plans to replace it anyways. Yeah, you know. Plus, we have good renters insurance, but it's just one of those things. Like,
let the expensive stuff burn.
Yeah, it really though. Like, oh, that $1,500 gun, it'll melt. I'll buy another one, right, with the insurance and all that. It's just one of those things too. Like, I've just realized now, like, I've become the thing I questioned. Like as a kid, I was like, really? Why the photo album? Who cares? And now I'm like, I'm married. I'm like, I'm grabbing that photo album, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about this word. I was thinking about this word this morning. The word keepsake. And I was wondering to myself, I was like, how many people know the word keepsake, and like have that in their lexicon or in how they see their life. And it's easy to blame the modern world, social media, busy life, all these things on like changing culture. And maybe kids who are dancing on TikTok also know the word keepsake, but they might not know the word. And so I was thinking about that some this week.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, my phone's the last thing I'm grabbing out of that fucking house, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, any of my work stuff too. I'm letting that burn to the ground.
Yeah.
Like anything I use for work, I am not going for that. Even though it's government issued equipment or whatever, right? I'm like, nope, don't need it. I kind of wanted to. The reason I was talking about gifts, Pat, was because I'm wondering, like, dude, should we get gifts for each other and open them up on the next podcast, our reunion podcast post holidays in the new year?
I think we can. That sounds like a grand idea.
Because knowing one another, I know I don't have to go baller on a budget,
right? And I like this idea because we've already established it. I like giving gifts and you don't. So
it's the worst.
I think that'd be great. I was thinking about this too with the holidays coming in, and some people were talking about these movies the other night, and I was like, they mentioned some movies I've never even seen in my life. Because the question was asked, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Die Hard. Right.
And so that's what I answered too, because that's what you have to answer.
Die Hard? Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Yeah. And so it's like, because Die Hard's maybe not really a Christmas movie, but
shut your mouth.
But it is the greatest Christmas movie ever made. So what's your, like, if you're 12 or 10 or 6, whatever, like, and I asked you that question, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Die Hard. Bro, dude, as a kid, I just thought, like, the most, like, this was before, like, the word meta was being used for, like, stuff you wore or, you know, stickers you had on your water bottle, whatever. I just thought, like, one of the best kind of meta things to have at school, I guess not as a kid, but like in high school, right? I was like, I just wanted a shirt that said, ho, 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 now I have a machine gun. And like, it's Santa with like an M60 or something, right?
Is that from a movie?
That's Die Hard, dude.
Oh, right. Okay,
he kills one of the guys, and then in blood, or I think it's in blood, writes on the guy's shirt, "Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun."
Oh, right, yeah.
And everyone, like you see on all the terrorists' face, they're like, "Oh shit. Like this guy's f***ing off his rocker, dude."
That's it. People are trying to argue with me. They're like, "It's not a Christmas movie," and I'm like,
"Why?" I feel
like,
good at the end.
No kidding.
It takes place during Christmas, and it's about a man reuniting with his estranged wife and kids for Christmas.
Exactly. The other movie I threw out there, and people said it wasn't a Christmas movie, was I said the first Narnia movie.
Yeah, I guess it is a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas, and it's mostly in a winter wonderland. I don't know. That's an iffy one, dude.
I know. I realize it's iffy. Let me break it down for in this way. Like he said, winter wonderland, magical things going on. There's a line in that movie that says, "It's always winter, but it's never Christmas." And these people have been living in this world where it's always winter, never Christmas. Santa shows up in the movie.
No.
And in the book.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. He's my favorite version of Santa Claus of all time. This version of Santa Claus gives me goosebumps and it gives me hope for humanity. So the White Witch, who's ruled over this land in this eternal winter, she drives a sleigh around. And when you hear a sleigh coming, you better hide because this lady's coming who can turn you into stone. And so the children who are in this world, they hear a sleigh coming, and I've kind of ruined it now, but they hear a sleigh coming and they hide out because they're afraid it's the White Witch coming for them because she's hunting them down. And it's Santa Claus.
In Narnia or outside of Narnia?
In Narnia.
In the closet.
In the closet. In Narnia. The real Santa comes. He comes on his sleigh. And he brings the children some gifts. Because Santa brings gifts.
Yeah.
And he gives Peter, the oldest brother, he gives him a sword.
Oh, that's right.
And a shield.
Yeah.
And he gives Susan a bow.
Yeah.
And a horn. And she can always blow this horn. And if she ever blows this horn, help will always come. And he gives Lucy a vial full of this. I think it's nectar from the sun.
Whoa.
That can heal people. And so Santa, with the coming of a Messiah.
That little boy, though.
Dude, Edmund, actually, we should actually do some stuff on Edmund. I love Edmund.
Yeah.
Because I'm Edmund.
Judas.
Because I'm Edmund. We're all Edmund in that story.
Yeah.
And so that's the funny thing too, is we all hate that kid till you realize that you're Edmund. And we're actually all the kids in some way. But
do you remember what he got from Santa?
He didn't get anything because he was with the White Witch at that time.
Damn.
Yeah, he had turned to the dark side at this point in his life, and he had to be ransomed. But so this Santa comes in, and he tells them that Aslan's coming. And so Santa in this instance marks the coming of a savior and the return of the king. And he equips the children with these gifts that will go on with them, some of them for the rest of their lives, to actually be successful in life and actually to lead in the ways that they are. And so this Santa doesn't give them a pair of socks or a package from Amazon, but gives them things that speak to who they are as a person and gives them the ability to come into the completeness of who they are. And then through that, they become kings and queens. And so I think it's a beautiful version of Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I have no recollection of that from the movie, but I believe you. I'll tell you this, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that using Santa, I'm not saying this is what you're encouraging, but I think a lot of people do this to like make it feel more magical or something for their kids on Christmas. The most sentimental, personal gifts are from Santa a lot of the time. Bro, I remember Christmas, 3rd grade, and I was getting these gifts, but there was one box my mom was making me wait till last. And on that box, it was from Mom, not Santa.
Man.
And I was like, okay, this is from my mom. And I started pulling that paper off. I saw it was this beautiful, beautiful yellow box, about probably 2.5, maybe 3 feet in length.
Mm-hmm.
And on it was just this beautiful repeating BB gun.
Really?
And I got the Red Ryder for Christmas that year.
Oh,
dog.
baby.
And it meant so much more to me that my mother, and I knew at that age it was my mother giving me this gift.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't Santa giving me this gift underneath my mom's nose, but my mom was saying, I trust you with this. You know, it is okay. It is good for you to have this. It was such a, like, it really was like one of the things I really look back on. I'm like, that felt like a coming of age thing. And dude, I used that baby. I mean, I shot that baby gun all the way up through college, like until it just could not run anymore.
Dude, that was my first one.
Tens of thousands of BBs through that gun, dude. I can't. Just graves full of Pepsi cans. Like I shot so many soda cans with that thing. I loved it so much, and it meant way more to me that it was from my mom than it would have if it was from Santa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so when I was 7, we were like walking through Walmart or something, and there were these awesome skates. They were skates that went over your shoes. Oh. And so you could put your foot in there and shrink them down to whatever size your foot was.
Freaking blade, dude.
And then he had a blade around on them. And as we were walking through the store, I remember this. I pointed at those and I said, I hope Santa brings me those this year. Come Christmas morning, underneath the tree, those blades were there.
But were they from Santa?
They were from Santa.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was like, man, this is awesome.
Do you think it would have meant more if it was from your parents?
Well, I was like, this is so cool. I have this thing I wanted from Santa. And I was skating around on them, strapped them on my feet, rolling around on them. And they were extra cool because there was a button on them you could press that would make them inline. Or if you can't inline yet, you push a button and they spring out.
I remember these.
And then you could 4-wheel, skate versus blade on them. I'm skating around, and I remember I skated over behind one of our cars because my little sister was playing with her gift. And I just looked up at my dad, and I just looked him in the eyes, and I said, he's not real, is he? And my dad looked down at me and he said, no, he's not. And so we had a moment there where, because I mean, it was the exact same thing I pointed at. And so it's funny, like, because I got the exact same thing I wanted when I said, Santa, I hope Santa brings me these. Yeah, I said, he's not real, is he? And he's just, no, he's not.
Like, there was that mixed emotion of, my whole belief in Santa's a lie, but my daddy loves me.
Yeah, so that was also a coming of age too. Yeah, because in that moment, and then I looked. I said, I won't tell my sister. You know,
that's awesome.
And
dude.
So, yep, and we, I'll let her believe still because it's fun. And yeah,
dude, the Red Ryder was definitely my favorite Christmas gift I ever got of all time. Just because I didn't even see A Christmas Story.
Really?
Like before that, yeah, no. My mom knew, like, she did everything she could when I was young to kind of not have me be excited about guns.
Yeah.
What can you do? A boy's a boy, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, she just gave in and just, rather than fighting it, was like, well, I'm going to make sure I supervise it and he does it right.
Yeah.
But my second favorite one was, like, in, like, 7th grade. I remember this one really clearly. I opened up a gift that was, like, the shape of a video game box, you know. I had an Xbox at the time, like first gen. Loved it. Played tons of games on it. But all of my homies had the 360 at that point and were playing games online with each other. So I opened this game, and it was from my mom's partner's mom, who's an older woman. I didn't, I accepted that, like, she probably doesn't know what game system I have.
Mm-hmm.
So she might have bought me the wrong game, because when I opened it, it was Halo 3 for the Xbox 360. And there was just this feeling of like,
damn it.
Oh my God. Like I love Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Halo was like, I remember when I got the first Halo and I spent all day Christmas Day playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no like online multiplayer at the time for it, right? So it was just like,
you had to system link it.
Yeah.
Hey, your friend had to be in the other room, and you just run an Ethernet cord to that thing.
Well, I was just sitting down with my little stepbrother, and we were just playing, 1v1
Mm-hmm.
on a ton of different
roasting
maps.
him?
No, we both sucked.
Oh yeah,
Like, because we had, before that, we had Donkey Kong in the 64, right?
right.
So it was like, we both are garbage at this thing.
Yep.
But I had grown up, and I had gotten to the point where I was great at Halo 2. I had played Halo 2 online with a ton of people, and I was a prodigy by the time I was in like 5th grade with Halo 2, right? I was just taking names. And I just remember seeing this, and I was like, I've already talked to my mom about getting a 360, and she says I don't need it. And I looked at my mom's partner's mom. I said, thanks, Grandma Cahill. Appreciate it. I didn't tell her it was for the wrong system or anything like that. I just stomached it, and I knew I was going to go up to my mom afterwards and be like, Mom, I don't know what to do. I can't play this game. This game won't work on my console.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to tell Grandma Cahill. She has to take it back, right? And I just had gutted it, and I was like, we'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the thought that counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I continue opening gifts. And I get to this big motherfucking box. I just remember I start peeling it. I just see like it's just a white box. I keep on peeling it. I see that Xbox 360 logo.
Oh yeah.
I started crying. I just started crying, dog, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, then my mom was like, I asked her, I was like, "Did you orchestrate that?" She's like, "No, we didn't know that she was gonna get you that game." Like,
really?
yeah,
that was
dog.
unplanned.
Oh, dude,
That was preordained.
I know. That was Jesus Christ. And I just remember grabbing that box, plugging it in, connecting the internet cable to it, and then throwing in Halo 3 and just,
Melt.
what up, boys?
just melting your brain for the next 4 days.
Yeah, it was so fun. And I was having all my homies over to help me beat the campaign on Legendary, and it was... But that one was so fun because I just remember the feeling, the like gut wrenching, like, oh, it's so close. Maybe I'll just keep this game until I can buy an Xbox 360 myself, right? Like,
I'll keep saving my $1 allowance till I'm 40.
100%. And I was just like, I had already accepted defeat, and then just opening up that box, dog. Oh man, I lost my shit.
That is so awesome.
It was great. I could see, dude, you got hyped off of that story, dude.
Yeah, because you can just... Some kids do get spoiled and expect the world, and then other kids really get super surprised when they get that gift,
Yeah.
Like for you, you're just like, well, this game, F it, I'm just gonna have to, I'm being a man here. I'm not gonna complain about this. I'm not gonna shoot this thing down. I'm not gonna cry because you got me this game for this that I can't even play.
Yeah.
But then to get that gift, that's so awesome, and it's a big joy at Christmas to be able to, I think that's what I'm looking forward to most with my kids, is that sort of thing, hopefully I can surprise them. And
well, I was going to ask too, like, do you find yourself asking for things that you can do with your kid now more? Or like, do you find yourself thinking about like, you're a father, I'm not a father. And I think I recall my mom and my grandparents getting me things that we could do together. And that was like what they were most excited about. And I'm just wondering, like, are you there? Like, are your kids old enough?
They're not old enough yet for that quite yet. Like, I have an assortment of duck hunting waders that fit like, I need like 2 more pairs, and then I can fit all ages of children. And I'm just saying, like, my kid's still legitimately 3 to 4 years out from fitting the first pair of waders.
Yeah.
And he's like 6 to 7 years out from even being able to actually hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I just have him ready for him, and I'm so excited to like take him and to do that stuff. And so, yeah, I already have him in that mindset. At the age he's at now, it's like, we can't, you know, we're not going to be able to do a lot together. But there's certain things where I'm excited to like.
Like, do you ever just see like a Nerf gun at the store and you're like, I'm gonna buy that so we can shoot each other?
I almost did that the other day. Actually, he's still like too young for those, and so. But I looked at those and I was like, oh, in a couple years, I'm going to shoot you with a Nerf gun so
I'm gonna
hard.
hunt you down in our house.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was like so excited for that. I saw a Nerf gun. I was like, we're gonna get it on with the Nerf guns. But like this year, it's a pack of Play-Doh.
Hell yeah.
But also, it's something we can do together.
Yeah.
I have memories of my dad like doing Play-Doh with me. I'm excited to do that with my son, and so.
I still have a board game that my mom bought me for Christmas. And I remember on Christmas Day, it was just her and I one year. And we opened up the board game, played it together. It's called HeroScape for all those people who still are OGs and remember. And I still have it. And it's worth like 100 times its value now because it's out of production. But I still have all of it and its minis and its cards. And I remember it so fondly because I remember my mom just patiently helping me learn the rules for a game that was way over my head. And like, it was all day, man. All day we spent learning how to play this game. And that is just like such a sincere memory now as I think about like being an adult, and the last thing I want to do is spend all day teaching a kid how to play chess. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
because that's what I've loved most about being a dad and certain things like Christmas now. Lots of joys of life get to be reignited. Like I'm never going to call my buddy and be like, hey bro, guess what we're doing today? We're going to the zoo. Yeah. You know, like we're not like, that's not what it is. Yeah. But if I get to go to my son and say, like, hey, guess what we're doing today? We're going to the zoo.
Let's go.
My kid legitimately, he breaks at the knees, bends over at the waist, and goes, yeah, the zoo. And so it's like, that's so much that it just brings so much of the little joys in life that we lose. Children bring those back in. So, and with Christmas now, I get to do that again with him.
Yeah. It's super sweet. It's super sweet. Well, thank you for joining us, Ken. We hope that you're finding yourselves surrounded by family, loved ones during this holiday season, that you can kind of laugh about the intricacies and the silliness of getting gifts, but also remember fondly the great gifts that you got that you loved and were able to celebrate with family, and hopefully that helps you guys get the gifts you want. Pat, I think I know what I'm going to get you, man. I'm not going to tell you, but I think I know. Not that like it's going to be insane or anything like that, but I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. I've got a couple ideas too.
Okay.
I'm bordering between gag and sentimental.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, man. Well, either way, I'll hate it. Thanks for joining us for another Mick and Pat show. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. We hope it's a special one.
Yeah. Till next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.